Most people don't know that Pippa Middleton owns one of the biggest private estates in Berkshire. Her land covers 150 acres, and almost no one has ever seen inside it. This home is more private than some royal properties. Something here will surprise you. The estate has 32 rooms, old gardens, and long, quiet fields. It cost around £15 million and sits behind tall trees and stone walls. From the outside, it looks simple, but the life inside is very different. You will want to see what she built here. After years of bright media attention, Pippa chose a calm life. She left the noise of London and moved back to the countryside she loved as a child. This estate is where she raises her children and spends her days in peace. There is more you haven't heard yet. While the world focused on Kate becoming a princess, Pippa made her own quiet world. She chose family, nature, and simple living over fame. This estate shows who she really is without cameras or crowds. Stay with me. The most interesting part of her Berkshire estate is still ahead. In 2022, Pippa Middleton and James Matthews bought a huge Georgian mansion in Berkshire. The property sits on almost 150 acres of open fields and old trees. The land includes walled gardens, quiet meadows, and long paths that go far into the countryside. There is more to this place than people think. This home was not a way to show status for Pippa. It was her way to return to the simple countryside life she loved as a child. She wanted a safe place where her 3 children could grow without cameras or loud city noise. This choice says a lot about who she is. The estate cost around £15 million. It has Grade 2 listed status, which means it is protected for its history and design. The house was already restored by the old owners, so Pippa moved in with little change. But one detail makes this story even more personal. The estate is only minutes away from her parents' home in Bucklebury. It is also close to Adelaide Cottage, where Kate and William live. Pippa didn't just buy a house, she placed her family right next to the people she trusts most. And this was only the start. What she planned next would change the entire estate. In 2023, Pippa and James filed a plan to change the old walled garden on their estate. They wanted to turn the historic space into a new family area that feels warm and useful. Their goal was simple: make the garden fun for their children while keeping the old charm. Something big was about to happen inside those stone walls. The old fruit trees and vegetable beds were set to be removed. Pippa wanted open space where her kids could run, laugh, and spend long days outdoors. She focused on building memories, not building a showpiece. Family came first in every choice. The plan included a huge outdoor pool measuring 82 feet by 19 feet. This pool is more than double the size of a normal private pool. A full AstroTurf tennis court would replace the soft lawn to allow play all year. The garden was becoming a true family retreat. The old potting shed would stay in place. Pippa decided to turn it into a small changing room instead of tearing it down. She kept the history alive while bringing new life to the space. And this was only the outside. Inside the mansion, an even deeper kind of beauty waited. The main house is a classic Georgian manor with high ceilings and tall sash windows. Each room has old stone fireplaces that show the true history of the home. In total, the estate has 32 rooms filled with clear light from every side. The house feels simple and calm, not loud or showy. You can feel the history the moment you walk in. The oak floors look smooth from many years of care. Soft cream colors and light gray walls make every room feel warm. Natural wood pieces add a clean English countryside look. Everything feels real and lived in, not overly decorated. It feels like a family home, not a museum. The architecture follows perfect Georgian balance and symmetry. Original features were kept safe through careful restoration. Most of the hard work was already done by the previous owners. Pippa only needed to add her own simple and modern touches. She stepped into a home already restored to near perfection. But the true charm of the estate did not stop at the walls. The land outside carried stories even older than the house. The walled garden is very old and was once used to grow fruit and vegetables for the estate. The high brick walls still stand strong and protect the space from wind and cold. The ground shows the paths where workers walked many years ago. The garden kept the estate self-sufficient for more than a century. This is one of the oldest parts of the whole property. Pippa looked at the space and saw a place for her children to play and learn. She wanted the garden to stay simple, natural, and safe for family life. She imagined new memories forming in the same place where gardeners once worked. It became a mix of history and daily life. The past and present met in one calm space. The garden covers about 2 acres inside the original Victorian walls. The layout still follows the same plan used over 100 years ago. Heritage groups worried that changes would damage the history. Pippa kept every wall and every old path exactly as they were. She honored the garden instead of replacing it. But beauty alone was not the reason this place mattered. Its location connected Pippa to everything that shaped her life. Pippa's estate sits only a few minutes from her parents' home in Bucklebury. Carol and Michael Middleton still live there in the same quiet countryside. Adelaide Cottage, where Kate and William live, is also a short drive away. The roads between these homes are calm and simple country lanes. The distance feels small, but the meaning is big. For Pippa, living close to family mattered more than anything else. Her children can grow up near their cousins and see them often. Family visits do not need plans or schedules anymore. They can meet for dinner, walks, or playtime without stress. The countryside makes every visit peaceful. The drive to her parents' home takes less than 10 minutes. The drive to Adelaide Cottage takes around 15 to 20 minutes. This makes spontaneous visits easy for everyone. It also keeps the families connected in daily life. Time never feels like a barrier here. The location was not an accident. Pippa chose this area because it tied her life back to her childhood. She could have bought a grand home anywhere in England, but she chose closeness to family over status or distance. And what stood beyond the estate showed her vision even more clearly. In 2020, Pippa and James bought Bucklebury Farm, a 72-acre countryside park. The land was once a historic deer park with open fields and quiet woods. They purchased it for £1.5 million, far below the value of the land itself. Soon, the old park began its change into something new. A simple field was about to become a family world. Pippa and James worked with their partner James Murray to rebuild the farm. They wanted a place where children, animals, and learning could come together. It was not just business for them. It matched Pippa's real values of family, nature, and simple joy. Kids learn more here than any screen can teach. The farm now has over 160 animals, including goats, rabbits, pigs, donkeys, and chickens. All animals are trained to be gentle with young visitors. Families visit every week because the farm feels safe and warm. Local parents say their children love the freedom and fresh air. It quickly became a part of community life. Visitors often see Pippa walking with Kate and their children at the farm. They enjoy the animals and the quiet paths together. The farm became more than a project. It became a place filled with real memories. But the next phase of this farm would surprise everyone. Pippa and James planned a new nursery for children aged 9 months to 5 years. The goal was simple: teach young kids through nature, not screens. Let them learn from soil, sunlight, animals, and open fields. This was the childhood Pippa wished to pass on. She wanted every child to feel safe, warm, and free to explore. She wanted lessons built on kindness, respect, and real outdoor play. This idea came from her own gentle countryside upbringing. The farm became the perfect place to share those values. Parents in Berkshire welcomed the plan quickly. The nursery design focused on outdoor learning at its core. It would host early years activities, nature walks, and farm lessons. Next, the couple planned a luxury lodge on the same land. It would host events, Pilates classes, and private family gatherings. The farm was turning into a full countryside center. The nursery was not only a business move, it was personal. Built for her own children and the local community. Pippa wanted to shape the world her kids would grow in. She was building a childhood rooted in nature and calm, but her next choices showed a very different side of her lifestyle. Pippa's first well-known car was a BMW Z4 Roadster. It had 255 horsepower and reached 100 kilometers per hour in 5.7 seconds. It was a small 2-seat car made for speed and freedom. She drove it through London and the country lanes near Berkshire. It showed her young and independent life. The Z4 was part of her life before marriage and motherhood. It felt light, simple, and personal. Later, Pippa moved to a Mercedes A-Class for daily city needs. It was compact, clean, and easy to park on busy London streets. This car fit her calm and practical routine. A BMW Z4 from her era is now worth about $35,000. The Mercedes A-Class holds a value near $45,000 today. Both cars matched different stages of her life. One meant freedom, one meant balance. And then her life changed again. Her current car is a BMW X7, worth about $90,000. It has soft leather seats, a wide sunroof, and space for her 3 children. It is a family SUV she uses for long drives back to Berkshire. The X7 shows who she is today, a mother with steady priorities. But her real success story was not parked in the driveway. Pippa's money journey began with her book Celebrate, which earned a £400,000 advance. The book did not break sales records, but it made her a real author. It opened the door to steady work and long-term income. Her writing career became her first strong source of personal earnings. Something bigger was starting. She wrote for The Telegraph, Vanity Fair, and Waitrose Kitchen. These writing jobs brought her around $80,000 each year. She built her own voice instead of using royal fame. Every pound came from her work, not her sister's title. This made her wealth feel earned, not gifted. Reports show she made around $450,000 a year from books, columns, and related work. Her income grew again through real estate, like the £15 million Berkshire estate. She and James also bought Buckleberry Farm for £1.5 million. Both properties became long-term investments and family assets. Her choices were quiet but smart. Her marriage to James Matthews expanded her access to larger investments. They built a mix of income from property, business partnerships, and private portfolios. Her brand value also created paid opportunities in lifestyle and charity events. Her wealth became steady, diverse, and very private. But everything started with one moment in 2011 that changed her life forever. In 2011, one photo from the royal wedding changed Pippa Middleton's life. She walked behind her sister Catherine, holding the gown's train. That single moment spread across the world in minutes. People everywhere started asking, "Who is she?" The spotlight was sudden and intense, but Pippa stayed calm. She turned worldwide attention into real work and new chances. Book deals, media jobs, and global recognition followed fast. But her story truly began long before that moment. Pippa Middleton was born in 1983 in Reading, Berkshire. She grew up in the countryside with her parents, Carol and Michael. Her mother built a party business at the kitchen table, and it became a success. Those early years taught Pippa the power of hard work. She earned a sports scholarship to Marlborough College. Later, she studied English literature at the University of Edinburgh. She learned confidence through effort, not privilege. Her real test began when she entered the working world. After university, Pippa worked in public relations and event management. She made guest lists, planned seating charts, and managed high-pressure events. That work taught her focus and calm. She watched how elegant events were built and used those lessons to shape her own style. She wrote for her family's magazine, Party Times, learning real writing skills. These jobs built the base of her career. But her life changed even more when she found the right partner. Pippa married James Matthews in 2017 at St. Mark's Church in Englefield. James is a hedge fund manager and heir to a respected Scottish family. He brought strong money skills and calm leadership. They share values of family, nature, privacy, and steady living. Together, they invest in real estate, build farms, and raise 3 children. James also lost a brother on Mount Everest, shaping his outlook. Their marriage became a smart and stable team, but what Pippa did next showed her true heart. In 2013, Pippa became an ambassador for the British Heart Foundation. She raised money by doing hard races like cycling across America and swimming the Bosphorus. Her bike from the Race Across America was later sold to support heart research. She also joined Otiloo, another tough endurance race, all for charity. Her cookbook Heartfelt sent every pound to heart programs. She supports the Michael Matthews Foundation, which builds schools in remote areas. Her charity work came from real care. But her quiet daily life revealed even more. Pippa starts her day with her son's swim lesson in Berkshire. She walks through Buckleberry Farm, checking animals and the nursery. She spends lunch on the veranda with family. Her days are simple, with farm visits, reading, and planning children's projects. Her closest circle is made of teachers and charity friends. This quiet life is the world she chose. Pippa chose peace over fame and built a life of family, nature, and calm English living. Her quiet choices became her real win. Pippa chose a life of family, nature, and quiet values. Her estate shows simple, real English living. Subscribe for more stories like this. Which part of her life spoke to you?